Hey, Byron, I hope you're doing well. I just wanted I just wanted to ask you just what these first couple of weeks with Kyle Trask have been like, and how pleased you've been with what he's been able to pick up and learn so far.
I mean, it's actually been great, to have a guy that where you're starting from scratch. You're starting from scratch. The guy knows nothing about nothing, right? We assume all quarterbacks coming into this league knows nothing about nothing. So it's great to start from the beginning, right? Start from the first brick. He's been doing an excellent job. Really. He's had a great, I don't know how long we've been here now, 3 weeks, I believe, but he's been doing great. He's been getting better every day. And he's the type of kid, he's a smart kid that knows what he's doing. He just got to get repetitions. The more repetitions he get, the better he'll get with more reps. But I like where he's at. He does a lot of good stuff right now to be this early. He sees the field well, and he's able to command the huddle. So he's had a good start since he's been here. Hopefully we can keep it up.
Thanks, Byron.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Jaelon.
Hi, Coach. So good to see you. Hope you're doing well.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm hot. It was hot out there.
Yeah,
today.
well, yeah, I know, and we need some rain too. I was wondering. We talked to Coach Arians already a little bit about this, about Tom and how he's kind of recovering, and I know that you guys aren't necessarily practicing with him because he's doing his own workouts. But how much have you been in contact with Tom Brady? What have you heard about the knee and how things are progressing with him? What are you expecting from him in OTAs this coming week?
It's constant contact, always in communication with him. As far as his knee, I think he's doing well. From everything I know, he's doing well. Obviously, BA will control what he does from an OTA standpoint. So I don't know really what we're doing there now, but I am excited. I know me personally, I'm excited to see all the guys, get them in here, have some fun. Some of these guys I haven't really seen since the Super Bowl, so it'll be fun.
How much more natural is it for you guys now that you've had a year together to kind of merge what he does best with your offense and with Bruce Arians' offense? And how much easier do you expect it to flow? I mean, I think recently he had said that even halfway through the season, he still struggled with the playbook.
He's fine. He's fine. It's just, like I tell people all the time, it was only thing that really made it difficult last year was the limited number of practice reps that we had. A lot of this stuff we had to figure out on Sundays because of COVID, we weren't able to practice. So we never had OTAs. We never had none of that stuff last summer. But other than that, I mean, we got through what we had to get through. I believe we got to the point where we wanted to play our best football in December. I believe we got there. We knew it would take a little time there early on in the season, which was fine, but we still had a good enough record. We knew we had to win football games in the process. We did a good job of that starting off. I believe we started off 6-2 with no offseason. I'll take that every year, but there were things we had to work on, get better at. I believe we got better at those things by December.
Thanks, Coach.
Next, we'll go to John Ledyard.
Hey, Byron, just in the short amount of time you've had to work with Giovanni Bernard, what's different about him than the other backs you've got in that room?
It's not that what makes him different. He's a pro. He's a pro. Anytime you can add a guy like that into any room, right? We got a 9-year guy who's played at a high level, who's made plays, who's been involved in important football games, who's been in playoff games. He's been in a lot of tough situations, right? That type of guy always going to help your football team. I think the thing that's impressive of him so far in this short period of time, you really only have to tell him something once. You tell him something once, he gets it. He's able to execute it and operate it, which lets you know he's been around a lot of good football. So he's a really smart football player, let alone his ability, what he can do from an attribute standpoint, a skill set. His ability to think on the run, be able to maneuver and do the things you got to do from that position to make the decisions that you have to make with that position. It's been great so far. So he's been doing a hell of a job for us just in the passing game, in the run game, just being a pro, doing the things that we'll need our running backs to do.
Bruce mentioned that Jaelon Darden reminds him in some ways a little bit of Antonio Brown, Emmanuel Sanders, some things. Those are guys you're familiar with. Do you see those similarities, and what observations do you have about Jaelon so far?
Yeah, it's all over the college tape. It's all over the college tape. Was a big fan of his. He's not a big guy, but a smaller guy that can pluck the ball. Very fast, very similar. Mannerisms are very similar to AB. I think it'd be good to be that he's in the same room with him. The skill sets are similar. Obviously, that's a big order to put on anybody. But I just remember AB being a rookie, being a player on that team. They are very similar football players.
Thanks, Byron.
Next, we'll go back to Jenna Lane. If any of you have questions, please raise your hand.
Sorry, Coach, I'm blowing you up today with questions. I was reading, and I'm sure as a former quarterback yourself, you can appreciate this. Cliff Kingsbury yesterday said on a podcast, he called Tom a sociopath because he said that they were at a wedding in the Bahamas and like both were hungover. The next day, 7:30 in the morning, he's out there and he's just like firing away footballs and doing all his workouts. And he just said that, you know, his desire to be the best is on another level. The world hasn't seen much like this. A guy who is dedicated every waking moment, diet, sleep, work ethic to being the best ever. Curious if you had any examples, maybe not of Tom being hungover, but just examples of that work ethic that has made him so great.
Well, I mean, he's a living example, right? You see it every day, so it's not nothing specific. What you appreciate from Tom and what you admire from Tom is nothing gets in the way of football. That's why he survived this long. That's why he's achieved the things that he's achieved in this league, because he's truly committed to it. Nothing gets in the way, and he's not just preaching it and talking it. He actually lived by it. And I think it's good for all football players to see this sort of commitment and what it can bring and what it can transform you into. To see this commitment from him, to see the things that he do. Obviously, he's probably, I think back in during the year, you guys were talking about some avocado tequila or something. Obviously, he probably have a few of them, but it's his commitment to football. Nothing gets in the way of football when it comes to Thomas, so that's a good thing.